As promised on yesterday's vlog, Kev's on a diet again. We all knew this day was coming, we just hoped it wouldn't come quite so soon. Why is that so far away from me? But yeah, the day is finally here. The diet has begun again. Began this morning, in fact. It's nearly 9 o'clock as I record this, but I've been dieting all day, and I even went back through old comments from you lot on previous vlogs where we talked about dieting, and I've tried to kind of do a combination of all of the different things that people have suggested. And basically, I'm so hot, it's really hot by the way. I'm trying to take on board some of the explanations for why it hasn't necessarily worked for me this time, and also tried to remember some of the things that have worked in the past, because I've successfully lost weight before. I went down from like 21, 22 stone to about 17 stone around about the time I was at uni. Stayed down there for a couple of years, so it wasn't like an overnight thing. It's just over the last few years that it's gradually crept back on, pretty much. In fact, pretty much over the last year since I did my ACL. No, it was 2 years ago now. That was just before I started my current school. So 2 years ago, I tore my ACL, at which point I got out of the habit of taking Dave for a walk every day. I got out of the habit of doing any exercise at all, really. My teaching style changed from being very, very active, sort of 15,000 steps a day, to, yeah, I need to spend a chunk of each day sitting down because otherwise it just hurts too much. And gradually moved from 15,000 steps a day down to about 7,500, 8,000 steps a day. Never really got back into the habit of walking Dave again. I've done it sporadically over the last 2 years, but certainly not a daily thing. Anna takes him out far more often than I do now, whereas before it was me every single day without fail, to the point where I remember doing it at 6 in the morning before we went to EGX one year, because otherwise he wouldn't get his walk that day. And I was so strict with it, and then I guess the injury made me realise that the world doesn't end if he doesn't get a walk, or if he only gets one walk. And that's been a contributing factor. Plus my eating habits have just been rubbish. At that school I've been at for the last 2 years, goodness me, did that lead me down a dark path when it came to food. When I was at my previous school, I would eat the school dinners every day. I'd go in every morning and get a bacon roll from the canteen. This is when I was at my thinnest. This is when I was maintaining like 17, 18 stone for a number of years. I'd go in every morning, have a bacon roll from the canteen, which sounds bad, but it was a small bread roll with 2 rashers of bacon in, which, when you think about it, it's probably only about 400 calories. A 400 calorie breakfast is a lot better than a massive bowl of Cheerios and 2 slices of toast with peanut butter and a milky coffee, which is probably closer to 800 calories. So although it was delicious, it was quite a small portion, and that portion was controlled because someone else was making it, and I didn't want to be the fat guy who had 2 bacon rolls. So I'd have that every day because it was basically free. It was so heavily subsidised, I basically didn't have to pay for food when I was there. I'd have a cooked dinner every lunchtime, the school meal, whatever it was on, so just a variety of healthy school meals, and then I'd come home and cook in the evening. And it was just easy taking the thought out of what I was eating and just having to worry about my evening meals. And it wasn't until the combination of tearing the ACL and moving schools to a school that didn't really have much in the way of a canteen, I had to kind of fend for myself. I started having breakfast at home again, which became like cereal and crumpets and peanut butter on toast and Nutella. Oh, Nutella. And loads of other things that are just not healthy at all. I should have carried on with the bacon rolls every day. I'd have been better off going and getting a McMuffin every morning, as long as I didn't get like the hash browns and all the extras. If I'd have just had a McMuffin every morning, I'd have been better off breakfast-wise for the last 2 years than I have been trying to fend for myself at home. And lunches were just a complete disaster. I'd go into the Tesco that was in the car park every morning, get a meal deal. But then because I was in Tesco, you'd always get extra bits, so I'd get a pack of biscuits to stick on top of the filing cabinet for us to share. There'd always be sweets in there, cake Thursdays, there's always food lying around. And I think in the 2 years I was there, I reckon I probably put on 3 or 4 stone just in 2 years. I mean, it's a good job I've left. I've saved myself by leaving, but they're the bad habits that got me to this point. So I'm trying to sort of reverse and rewind back 2 years. So what I need is regular exercise. I need to take the thought out of my eating as much as I possibly can, and I need to not be snacking between meals. So I've sat down it took me a good couple of hours today, sat down and planned a 2,000 calorie a day meal plan that basically consists of every single, so I'm following this for a month, by the way. This isn't a rest of my life thing necessarily. This is I want to lose a stone before EGX thing. So every single day I'll be having 3 Weetabix with some milk. That's about 300 calories. I'll be having for lunch a jacket potato with a tin of tuna and a couple of tablespoons of light mayonnaise. That comes in at like 450, 500 calories. As snacks, 2 hard-boiled eggs in the afternoon, like 150 calories. In the evening, 2 Ryvita with organic, crunchy peanut butter on, just a tablespoon on each Ryvita. Was it a teaspoon? Either way, it worked out at like 250 calories for that as a snack, so whatever that translates at. And all of that combined, if I've got my numbers right, means I've got about 750 meals a day for my dinner, which ultimately will become batch cooking again. But looking at my schedule for this week, I haven't got it in here, there isn't any time this week for batch cooking. It's something that's probably not going to happen now for a couple more weeks. So we had salad for tea tonight. I cooked some chicken breasts, we had it with some salad, a little bit of mozzarella. It was really nice. I could eat that every day, but I won't. I'll put some variety in on my dinners. But lunch, dinner, snacks, that's going to be solid every day. It's just what I have for my tea will change, and it will be limited to 750 calories, and there'll be no extra snacks, no deviating from that. I'm taking as much thought out of that as possible. So that should be eating taken care of. I reckon I can stick to that for a month. I did it for years before without even consciously doing it. It was just the thought was taken out of it, and they're roughly the proportions it came in at. And then exercise-wise, I'm going to get back into the habit of taking Dave for a walk every day. I've got it blocked out in my diary, 7 p.m. every day, rain or shine, I'm going to take Dave out for a walk. So just the act of being out with him for half hour, 45 minutes, it probably isn't even a boost from where I've been for the last 2 years, but at least it will keep my physical activity levels at roughly a level to what they were when I was at teaching, because I've noticed in the last 5 weeks while I've been sat at home that I'm noticeably less fit now than I was 5 weeks ago, because I'm spending all day sat in this chair rather than walking around the classroom. So by taking Dave out for a walk every day, that's going to start to build up a base fitness level again. I'm not going to go back to the running because it wrecked my knee again. I'm not going to do anything silly, but I think what I am going to look at doing is, I've spoken to the doctor about it before and he was, no, not really, but I'm going to really start pressuring the doctor with, look how much weight I've put on in the last 2 years. Can I have a gym membership on the NHS, please? The leisure centre in town here, I mean, even if they don't give me a free membership, it's like £20 a month. Anna's keen to join as well. And if I can get into eating consistently, walking Dave every day, the reward for that, when we get to the point of either convincing a doctor to let me have it for free, or Anna's student finance comes in so we can afford to get it as a thing we pay for ourselves, the reward is going to be a gym membership for us both. And then we'll go there 3 times a week. It doesn't have to be anything major, but I really enjoy lifting weights. I liked it when I was younger. Whenever I've been to the gym since then, I hate the cardio stuff, but I really enjoy lifting weights. I like it. So I'm thinking, if I can eat right, if I can go for a half hour, 45-minute walk with Dave every day and lift weights 3 days a week, I reckon that should be enough of a shock to the system to initially drop that stone before EGX that I want to drop. And then long term, if it just gets me back down below 20 stone, and then I can come up with a new plan from there, that's going to be progress, because at least then we're moving back in the right direction. And I believe that just following that plan will get me back down to sort of the 17, 18 stone mark I was at before I blew my knee out. So once I'm back there, I can then make a decision about if I'm happy there, because it's fine. Large t-shirts fit fine. You know, I could buy clothes in normal shops. I didn't get out of breath going up the stairs. I looked even more handsome than I do now, if you can believe that. So I could, if someone burst in here right now and said, Kev, think fast, you're going to be 17 stone for the rest of your life. Are you happy with that? Yes or no? I say yes in a heartbeat, because I haven't weighed myself, but I guess 4 stone less than I am now. And I felt good when I was 17 stone. The doctors and the NHS and the websites will tell you I should be like 13.5 stone, but I was never less than 16 stone, even as a teenager. I was a big rugby playing lad. I'm never going to be 13.5 stone, but I think 17 stone, if I maintain that for the rest of my life, that'll do. And if I decide I want to drop a little bit more after that, then so be it. But that's the plan. Let me know down in the comments if you think it's a good plan or a bad plan. How would you tweak it? What would you do differently? And I'm not going to get really obsessive with it on the vlog like I have done before. I'm not going to be showing you my fitness plan. I'm not going to be doing live weigh-ins, but it'll come up every now and again. I'll let you know how I'm getting on, and hopefully you'll notice without me even having to tell you as the weight starts to come off a little bit, because that's the big thing now. I think I'm sat here almost 9 months to the day from when I started this vlog with a view to it tracking my weight loss, and I'm heavier than I was then. And let's stop messing around now and drop a little bit of weight. Thanks for watching.